Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all of you. So today we are gathering here is to present about our group project, which is for the cost engineering project management with the cost code which is AMM3612. The report title is Case Study of Kuala Lumpur Singapore High Speed Rail Project. I'm the first one I introducing myself, which is my name is Alif Hakimi Ismail 197551. The total group member of us is four, including me. The next one is Muhammad Irsyad Muhammad Azwardi 196199, Muhammad Ikmal bin Maksaan 198725, and Alif Akmal bin Omar 198518. Next. Okay. So for the introduction is my part. I will just give a short briefing for the Kuala Lumpur Singapore High Speed Rail. Kuala Lumpur Singapore High Speed Rail is well known as in the abbreviation is just KL Singapore HSR. It's the project that was handled by two countries, which are Malaysia and Singapore, with a targeted completion date by the end of 2026. Our respectful Prime Minister, which is Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, and Singapore's Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, made the announcement in view of the expiry of the suspension period of the HSR project on December 31, 2020. Next one is Singapore has spent more than $270 million on consultancy service, infrastructure design, and manpower for this project. Next. Okay. Uh, the next is I want to give no, the previous one. Okay. 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 This is the real one. Okay. The timeline for the project is the first one is stated in recorded on 31 May 2020, which is Singapore has, in the spirit of bilateral cooperation, agreed to Malaysia's personnel to extend the suspension period of the Kuala Lumpur Singapore HSR project by another 7 months until 31 December 2020. The second timeline is on 1st January 2021, which is Singapore and Malaysia, both of them announced the termination of the Kuala Lumpur Singapore High Speed Rail project. So basically, this uh, make so for this KL Singapore HSR project, we need to make a case study about the HSR starting from the initialization to the project closure. We also need to relate all the elements of engineering project management course that we have learned in class throughout the semester with this case study. Next. Okay, the next one is elements, which is organizing, strategy, and project selection. So the element that I can say it is about the importance of the project KLSGHSR to the netizens, which is involving both Malaysian and Singaporean. The first one is this project is the alternative travel mode between two of Southeast Asia's most vibrant and fast-growing economic engines. The Akin project will include 7 stations in Malaysia to Bandar Malaysia, Sepang to Putrajaya, Seremban, Melaka, Muar, Batu Pahat, and Iskandar Puteri before reaching its last destination in Jurong East, Singapore. Public will enjoy an improved travel experience of shorter travel time than usual, which is 90 minutes from KL to Singapore, and a comfortable ride through the HRR city center to the city center connection along the corridor. Next. The next element that I want to include in the case study is regarding the project portfolio system. The first point is the classification of the project. Kuala Lumpur Singapore Experience is a wonderful project involving the governments of Malaysia and Singapore, which sharing the same objective and motive to facilitate a 90-minute travel time between Kuala Lumpur and Singapore. The next point is selection criteria depending upon the classification. It can bring with this project. If this project is successful, it can bring more people traveling between these two countries and simultaneously will improve the economical level for both Malaysia and Singapore. Next. Okay. Next point is it is based on the net present value. If the net present value is positive, the project meets the minimum desired rate of return and is eligible for further consideration. While if the net present value is negative, the project is rejected and will not be taken into consideration because it will bring more loss than estimated profits. So as we can see, the formula is given, which is project net present value. If it is if we first we need to count the project in PV. It is positive, if it is positive, we should proceed. But if it is negative, it means that it will bring more loss than the estimated profit. Next. Okay, so this is the project proposal form for the KL Singapore HSR. The first one is project classification is it can be classified as the infrastructure. Second one is what business problem does the project solve? First one is it can be shorten the distance and travel time between Kuala Lumpur and Singapore. Second one is increase the economical level due to more people will use Kuala Lumpur Singapore high speed rail. Next. Okay. Um, the third one is the major deliverable of the project. The first one is it can increase the level of Malaysia and Singapore to be well known not only in Asia but also to the world. Second is it can increase the level of the economy due to more tourists visit both countries. It also can strengthen the bond between Malaysia and Singapore government. The fourth one is impact of not doing this project. First one is bring back the difficulties for both Malaysian and Singaporean to travel and also make the travel time become longer than usual. Second one is increase the total loss for the project after spending too much money in the beginning. Next. Okay. The next is three major risks to run this project. Basically, the first one is the pandemic of COVID-19, which spreading throughout the world, especially for Malaysia and Singapore. The next is cost overruns and longer the period of the construction phase. The sixth is how will we measure the success of this project? The first one is the both Malaysian and Singaporean can travel without considering distance and time travel. Second one is the increasing of the economy sector, and the third one is the it with this project can bring back more profit than a total loss. That's okay. So for this project, the estimated cost of the project to be finished is up to 68 billion and 58 billion ringgit. And how long will this project take approximately? Basically, it is from approximately if this project is not cancelled, it will start from 2018 until 2025. I think that's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Alif Hakimi. Next, I will present on the structure and culture in project management. You can see the diagram here is the parties involved in the HSR structure. The right side of the diagram is Intraco Malaysia, the company from Malaysia, and the left one is from Singapore, Intraco Singapore. Basically, the two company being merged into Asset Co, in which responsible for building, financing, and also maintaining all rolling stock, as well as designing, operating, and maintaining all rail assets such as track work, power, signaling, and telecommunication. Next, here is the what we call it as key dimension defining an organizational culture. But for that, the organizational structure is characterized as a mechanism that ties individuals together and establish mutual standard attitudes, principles, and assumptions that create common meanings. It gives members identity, help legitimize the management structure of the organization, and clarifies and strengthen norms of conduct and help establish social order. So you can see that the diagram below shows the key dimensions that define an organization's culture. You can see the constraint here: job, individual, task, independent, low, the key performance. I think the key performance, including member identity, team emphasize, people focus, integration. Number five, control, risk tolerance, reward criteria, conflict tolerance, means and orientation, and open system focus. I think that's all for the structure and also culture in project management. Next, I will pass on to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you for the previous presenter. Okay, I will continue to the next point, which is defining the project. For the project scope checklist, the objective of this project is to build the shortest travel time to the HSR stations and immigration clearance. The deliverables is divided into 4 points, which is shortest travel time, seven station in Malaysia, which is stated by Alif Hakimi before. The estimated travelling time is 90 minutes for 350 kilometer, and it is expected for three services, which is direct service, domestic service in Malaysia, and also shuttle service. Next. Okay, here are the milestone for the project from 19 October 2013 up until 9 May 2019. As you can see, this is how the flow of the project, HSR project is going from one level to another level until it is come to the final agreement in the 9 May 2019. Okay, next. Okay, for the next sub point of the project scope checklist, it is technical requirements. For the technical requirements, it is needed of expert to lower the project risk. It also need of appropriate organization to ensure the project time and cost estimation in effective way, and the role of local companies to ensure the local engineers, which is from Malaysia, also to improve the talents and abilities by doing during doing this project. For the limits and exclusions, the financial factors and costs represented a consideration in the arrangement of companies. In our scope, assign the applicable agencies with the right skills. Related agencies gain into tendering mechanism to ensure the price the project is reasonable. The project being dependent on Orange companies entirely, and also the proposed distance is 350 kilometer for the limits and exclusions. Okay, next. Okay, for the next subpoint, which is the establishing project priorities, the project priorities is consists of three important aspects, which is budget, schedule, and scope. For the budget, the cost become the more expensive, because the duration to finish is long. And for the schedule, the project time has been scheduled to be working from 2019 and to totality of the project, which is cost, scope, and time that is always related to each other to indicate the quality of the project, which is HSR project for our case study. Okay, next. Okay, here are the work breakdown structure for the HSR KL Singapore project, which can be divided into five sub, which is station, railway, HSR train, maintenance, and also the electric source. from the station, it is divided into four sub point, which is foundation, piping system, facilities, and control system. For the railway, it is foundation. It are foundation, concrete casting, and track. For the sub point of HSR train, it is signaling equipment, communication, and facilities. Under maintenance, it consists of light, heavy, and train track maintenance. For the electric source, the power transmission, power supply, power distribution, and also power control is the sub point for the electric source for this project. Okay, next. For the next topic, which is estimating project time and cost, the factor influencing the quality of estimate is the first one is planning horizon. The planning horizon is the estimation of the current event that will reduce the percentage for more events to be done. The second one that is related to our case study, which is other factor. The other factor that influence the project is the time working for the employee, because as it is different content, so the time working is maybe is different. Okay, next. Okay, for the estimating guideline for time, cost, and responsibilities, the responsibility is the company that is responsible for this project, which is asset cost, infra cost, and of course. For this part, I think Alif Akmal has already presented it before. So we will continue to the next part. Okay, for the next topic, which is developing a project plan. This is the project network, or for the HSR project, which I estimate about it is about 11 activity that need to be done. You can see from the clear path, demolish any obstacle, set up construction site, set up train track, post the marble, set up electric post, install the HSR train station infrastructure, light installation, build interconnected roof for the station, and also the inspection. The left side it shows the preceding activity. Okay, next. For the estimated time for the project, this is just a roughly estimation that I'm did for the project, which you can see from the start date and the finish date, and also the duration for the every task that need to be done. Okay, next. Okay, the last one that I will present is the Gantt chart for this HSR project. As you can see that the first two tasks uh, will will begin in this will begin on the same date. Then it will continue to the third task, which is set up construction site, and it is going on until the last one, which is inspection. Next, I think that's all from me.
Okay, thank you, Kemal. So I will continue the presentation with the next element, which is schedule, resources, and costs. So resource scheduling is a process used by teams to organize and structure their employees so the tasks that they need to complete are scheduled based on availability and capability. So the objective of this element is to assign and monitor projects from start to finish, to schedule people based on skills and availability, and to track projects estimation and outcomes to make future scheduling easier. So next, okay, so there are 5 steps that we have to follow to achieve the objective. So first is break down tasks within a project given. So we started by looking at the project as a whole, and then we sort down the each part into individual tasks. So second step is look at the resource capabilities. So this is to make the confirmation who is available and ready to take responsibility on a task. And Okay, the third step is we make a schedule task to team members. So after we know which task that we assign for, so we start to assign the task to our team members based on their availability. Step 4, we manage and monitor resources as the project progresses. So we have to make sure to monitor the team members' progress to avoid any problem in the future. And the last one is track the actual time spent on tasks and activities. So we have to track everything so our project can run smoother. And also the data for the tracking project can be used to tighten up our future schedules. So next slide. Okay, next element is reducing project duration. Okay, for reducing project duration, firstly we need to list down the activities that we need to shorten the duration. So as you can see in the table here, these are the listed activities that already be listed down, which is activity 1, 3, 4, 7, and 11. So for example, we will look at activity number 1. So activity number 1 have the slope of 0.001 billion ringgit with the maximum crash time of 5 days. So the direct cost for the normal for activity number 1 is 90 days, which is the activity number 1 need to be completed in 90 days with the cost of 0.01 billion ringgit. So the crash time for the activity number 1 is 85 days, which is reduced by 5 days, and then with the cost of 0.015 billion ringgit. So for the rest of the activity, you can see in the table. So I will present next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are the figures for the project duration. So as you can see, the whole time for the project to be completed is 1,787 days, and the initial total direct cost is 22.92 billion ringgit. So to reduce the project duration, first we choose the chosen activity, which is activity number 1. Okay, next slide. Okay, and then activity number 1 has been reduced to by 5 days. So it been reduced from 90 days to 85 days. So automatically the total time for the project to be completed is reduced to 1,782 days, but the initial total direct cost is increased a little bit. So we will do the same thing for the activity number 3. So next slide. So activity number 3 also been reduced to 335 days, and also the time for the project to be completed also been reduced, but the initial total direct cost is increased. So next slide. So next is activity number 7. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is the end result for the project for the duration of the for the reduction of the project duration. So the total time that we are successfully reduced is 1,662 days, with the increasing of the initial total direct cost, uh, which is the 23.118 billion ringgit. Okay, so that's all for the project duration, for the reduction of the project duration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Irshad. So for the last part is project closure. So in order to look into whether this project is being successful or not, we start from the beginning of the presentation until the end. So a series of final steps need to be run for the project closure deliverables. So we have here three steps that need to be done for the project closure, including the first one, wrap up closure activities, second one, performance evaluation, and also the third one, project audits. Okay, so in short, the project closure section will show the final review on the project achievement as respect to the initial aim or objective of the HR project. So this section will evaluate whether the initial or the original aim of HSR project will be done or will be successfully executed or not. So For the first one, we call it as wrap up step. So the closure and analysis execution consists of three key closure that I explained just now: wrap up, performance evaluation, and then project audit. So for the wrapping up project process is basically to make sure the rate of acceptance and approval by the customer worldwide that use service of HR transportation, especially in our case, the customer from the Malaysia and Singapore, that mostly that related customer for the HSR transportation. So the process includes closing account, assigning equipment, and finding new opportunities. So the table shows the wrap up closure checklist that comprising three factors, which are the team, vendors or contractors, and also the equipment and facilities. So this checklist must be done by the company in order to check whether the wrap up process is okay or not, or the project is completely or successfully executed or not. Okay, so here is the continuity of the table. So basically, if you can see the table, whether the complete or not is stated there is no for every checklist, because as we know that project ended after the two countries refuses to achieve consensus on the numerous reform suggested by the Malaysian government. The joint declaration indicates the expiration of the transmission of HSR project on 31 December 2020 with our Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, and also Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong of Singapore. The statement state that due to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the Malaysian economy, the Malaysian government suggested multiple improvement in the HSR program. But at the end, we know that this HSR program need to be terminated for a few reasons. Back focus on the above checklist, all the wrapping function are not and cannot be done prior to the termination of the project. Therefore, the next process that I've been told you, the performance evaluation and also the project audits, can is unnecessary. It cannot be done because of the first step is not being done, wrap up closure activities. So, as the result, the project can be described as a failed project, but has given us a lot of lesson on having an overview about the project management, and also this project also teach us the importance of having strong cooperation among team members in order to overcome any upcoming obstacles, especially on the big project like HSR project. I think that's all from us, from the first part until the project closure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.